You are now listening to the iWalter Show. Real talk about nothing.
Faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird brain. It's a plane. It's iWalter. Yes, it's iWalter, strange visitor from another planet who came to Earth with powers and abilities far beyond those of mortal men. iWalter, who can change the course of mighty rivers, bend ears with his annoying voice, and who disguised as Walter Interranti, mild-mannered janitor for a great metropolitan newspaper, fights a never-ending battle for truth, nonsense, and the American way. And now, another exciting episode in the adventures of iWalter.
Good morning, everyone. This is Walter on the iWalter this Saturday, August the 8th, 2015 at 4:07. I think I got my levels back to the way I wanted them. Sorry about that. I screwed up. I tried to hook up two mics. I wanted to bring in the work. I'm going to have to probably just work with one. And if I have guests on the show, they're just going to have to share my mic because it just takes way too much away. It makes it too difficult on these. I have USB mics. Anyway, I wasn't really happy at work tonight. At the very end of the night, after I heard something that was said upon me. Before I go into that, hey, you know what? I heard about this, and it actually came true. Maybe it was Rush who had mentioned it. I haven't listened to him all week. I was kind of listening to my own show to see how I was doing with that. And I got a couple of members from work, which I feel bad about. So anybody who listens in from my job, please don't take offense to anything I say. If it sounds racial or derogatory, it's not meant to be that way. It's just me venting. There's things you probably think, of saying, but you don't say. Well, in this show, everything is like a no-holds bar. So I let basically the id fly free on this show. That's the whole purpose of it for me. It helps me relax. And it's not meant to offend anyone, so I'm just making that statement now. But anyway, what I was ready to say before I say my main stuff, or talk about my main stuff, I heard somewhere that Best Buy was going to start carrying the iWatch, and lo and behold, I got an advertisement that said, oh yeah, now you can buy an iWatch at Best Buy. They're like the first retailer outside of Apple stores to sell the Apple iWatch, which I think is a total waste of money, but that's besides the point. I'm not even using the one I have. I think it's just it's a waste of money. It's a nice toy. Not even that though. I like a lot of computer stuff, gizmos, and I also love Apple, but this is one thing I would say is just a utter, it's basically a waste of money. So I just wanted to get that out there. I got some stories. The one I'm going to read is from the Daily Mail, and it said, did she eat her victims? Serial killer Granny Ripper, who kept a diary of 11 people she decapitated. Oh, yeah, decapitated may be a cannibal. Yeah, she did decapitate them. But before I go into that, I got to get this off my chest because this has been bothering me since I heard it tonight. A friend of mine from work that used to work in my building, she works in a different one. She had told me that some woman she works with just really pissed her off tonight, and it was pertaining to me. So the short of the story is I basically caught something that was very dangerous and could have went into products that people put into their bodies. That's the short. What was said, though, is I need to watch myself, quote unquote. This is what somebody told my friend, that Walter really needs to watch himself because he's basically looking for trouble. Like I seek out trouble. I should have mentioned anything. Now, I said, I'm not going to say which one, that I work for a pharmaceutical company. Well, Johnson & Johnson was a pharmaceutical company, and they let things slide. And then people started dying. Babies started dying. And then all of a sudden, they got shut down. So this call would have went right directly to my supervisor, but he was busy at the time, so I got the higher up above his head that would just so happen to work late the other night. It was actually just yesterday, or 2 nights ago now, because I forgot it's Saturday, so it was Thursday night. And it's a woman, and I said to her, she's our higher up, she's a higher executive that was working late. I said, listen, I need to talk to my boss. The boss is not around. She had a walkie-talkie to be able to get a hold of him, which he did respond back, but she said, you know what, I better look into this too. And what it was, the place I work for, we make drugs and vaccines. But we also, by making vaccines and drugs, we work with certain things that are very dangerous somewhat, I think. One is live active viruses. You have to use certain things to get certain results. So there was something, it's called a biohazard bag. You know, you've heard of the band probably Biohazard, but these are real biohazardous products that we work with. We have to make sure we contain them and destroy them once we're done getting what we need out of the process of using, things that are either toxic or very dangerous otherwise. So they get destroyed. They get basically made harmless. Well, people that are lazy, though, take these viruses and stuff that are tied up in biohazardous bags that should be destroyed, and they throw them into bins that I had to clean, and where I was ready to bring in what we call sweets. And I got kind of suspicious because about certain bins that I clean out, these drums that are on wheels, these are box drums, because a friend, our guy that I work with, a really nice guy, he doesn't work in my department, kind of gave me the heads up. He helped me the other day, actually. I really appreciated this. This guy, Mike, I work with, or not with, but I talked to him during the course of the night. He helped me get these bins, bring some to where they needed to go because I was stuck with a lot of work. And I definitely appreciated this guy, Mike, helping me. Well, we caught from the past, because he's helped me before, and I always appreciate his help. So don't take this the wrong way, but he really does. The people who might listen to the show that I work with, I really did need his help. And he's helped me before, this guy, Mike, and I will never, never, ever tell somebody you can't help me. Trust me, that's the last thing I care about. Especially when it means me not getting hurt by trying to rush and get things done. When I have somebody helping me, it makes a big difference. So anyway, this guy Mike, we've encountered this before, where people just throw products in there that weren't supposed to be in these bins, things that they use, and they were just too lazy to throw it out, or they forgot about it, so they throw them in these bins, which nothing goes in these bins besides whatever product that is being dispersed into these containers. I can't tell you what it is, because then you probably would be able to figure it out. So anyway, one of these bins not only had just regular trash, that it didn't have any of that, it did have what's called a biohazardous waste bag. So I called the higher up, because she was this woman who was the only one around. She looked at the bag and she said, well, looking by what the contents were in the bag, because the bags were red bags, but they were clear. You could see through them. She could kind of make out what was in the bag. And she said, well, some of its contents is a live active virus. A friend told me that the virus that was in the bag is possibly measles, the measles virus, whatever it makes up. I think it was measles. I might be wrong. So if you mix this with whatever vaccine you're making, you're combining a virus with some other type of product that you're trying to make, which you're going to contaminate the product. So was it serious? Yeah, because there was about 50 or so drums of which was supposed to be sterile product, some substance that goes into our product that's supposed to be a sterilized, pure, clean substance that goes into the product we make. Well, these 50 bins all have on their reject. They were all rejected because they could possibly be contaminated with this virus. Maybe not from the bag I found, but from other bags that possibly had, these bins. You're probably asking, what do these bins look like? Well, they're big, they're square, and they're on wheels. And they probably hold a couple 100 gallons, I would assume. Something like that. I would assume like at least about 100 gallons, I would guess, 50 gallons. I don't know. They're big. They're bigger. You could put 2 people in one of these bins. And I had to clean a ton of these. I did clean about 50 of them yesterday. And they have wheels on the bottom. And they're square box looking things. But you could put 2 people inside of one of them. So anyway, the stuff that goes in there is part of the process we use to make vaccines. So the stuff is sterilized, basically purified water that it is so purified it is not drinkable because any imperfections, everything has been removed from this water. So it is pure, whatever, I'm just ready to say unadulterated, but that's not the word, and I didn't even say that right. But it's basically purified water that is changed into some type of buffer, BUFFER substance, which is used to make a vaccine. It is very important that it is nothing else contaminated the product. So obviously they don't want to take this risk because we don't want to fall into the same situation. We already know that it's not Johnson & Johnson I work for, because Johnson & Johnson, which was in Fort Washington, got in major trouble, and I believe they got shut down, at least that branch, because their products were getting contaminated. So the importance of what I had brought to the attention of the higher up was obviously very important because it had created meetings throughout the plant site I work at. So that's very important. And it also caused a whole lot of what was started in a process now to be considered not usable. So the outcome was, and I'm sure she's not the only one, that I'm the bad person. And I told this friend tonight, by the way, I said, I'm not going to hold on my shoulders the responsibility of just taking this, because trust me, it was in the back of my mind. I was just ready to throw this biohazardous bag into a dumpster. So we don't know, because some of the stuff on my place of work, some of the stuff gets actually incinerated, which would have killed any type of bacteria that was in there, or, quote unquote, the live virus would have been destroyed by being incinerated. But sometimes now some of our product, just to cut back on cost, is taken off plant site where it's disposed of, and that could mean it's going to be placed in a landfill. So do I want to live with the burden of knowing that I possibly allowed to throw something out just because by doing that, I wouldn't piss off anybody. Everybody would be really happy, and nobody would have been affected by this situation at all. But by me, probably what people are really thinking, well, you open your big mouth, now you're making us maybe possibly lose our jobs. Who cares if it killed somebody? It's not our concern. Well, guess what? That's not the way I fucking think. So that really, really pissed me off when my one friend said that this woman told her, Walter's really got to watch himself because he seems to seek out problems. He seeks out trouble. How can you seek out trouble when you're trying to nip something in the bud that obviously was very serious, because the upper management at my company had taken it serious enough to write up what's called a standard operating procedure, basically standard SOP, yes, and have a whole meeting throughout the plant site of the severity of what just had happened. And this happened within less than 12 hours after I had presented it to the higher up, who was the only one available at the time. But instead of like, well, what Walter did probably saved the company billions of dollars, possibly lawsuits, and, could have even killed somebody. The products we make actually are vaccines for children too, by the way. That's when they're first presented. So I should really be more concerned about the people's well-being and welfare of having a job where they get paid way too much money for, and not really be concerned that the product that could have been possibly made could have killed millions of people. That's not important. The most important thing is that these people's pockets are filled with money. So trust me, it is on the tip of my tongue to let people know where I work, but I refuse to do that. Just out of the decency for the people I do respect at my job. I do not want to jeopardize their career or their job that might, our jobs are hanging on by a shoestring anyway. But I do have some respect. But I also have respect for myself, and I also have respect for people, people's lives that we're supposed to be helping out, possibly even saving. We're not supposed to be killing people just because it's going to affect my paycheck. I mean, I'm telling you, I've had this in the past. And when it comes to somebody's life and somebody's wallet, trust me, that person's life, I don't care who you are. And that's one time I will say, I don't care what nationality you are, what your religious belief is. That all goes out the fucking window when it comes to somebody, a matter of life and death. I mean, if you're really have morals or human being or believe in any type of religion, I don't think any of them honestly justify that, it's more important for me to think about myself than the well-being of others. So if you really think that way, you know what? If there is a hell, you will find out someday, and hopefully, by then you can't do anything anyway, whoever that is. But there's people that actually at my plants, my workplace, really just don't care about human life. They just care about themselves and how to make themselves more happy, which that is very, I can't even say immature. That's just, it's evil. That's one thing I can say. And that's just, it's unheard of in today's times, I would think. But obviously, I have been proven wrong on that fact. So anyway, that's what I wanted to get out first. I want to go back to the story that I had seen, because I think it seems pretty appropriate as a follow-up anyway, considering the type of jackasses we might have at our job. Not all of them are, but there is some, and I obviously had proven that point now, that I am the person, like I said, you wonder why I'm so paranoid and stuff. Well, this just proved the point, because do you think people really care that I might have saved, saved something, company a lot of heartache later on, no puns intended? No, because I should have left I should have kept my big mouth shut and not said anything and just let the whole thing basically ride out, and people actually get killed. That's just a minor technicality that maybe some people could have got killed if this product would have went out with a virus infecting the vaccines. That's something I should just not really be concerned of. That's basically the bottom line. So for the person who said that to my friend, go fuck yourself, because you obviously have no morals, no brains, and obviously are very self-centered, like I've said before. And ironically, it was a woman who said it to my friend, who is a woman, but there's two sides to that coin, and you know which one is the one with the brains and the one who has the brains in their ass. So anyway, the story I was ready to read, I'm really pissed off after I heard that. So again, that person, go fuck yourself, and, I'm sorry I'll never see you in the afterlife, because while I'll be in one place, we know where you're going to end up being with that kind of low morals and self-loathing disrespect for others. Anyway, the Daily Mail story, dailymail.com story I was going to read is about this woman named Tamara Sam Samsonova, 68, is suspected of a series of murders in St. Petersburg. The Granny Ripper is thought to have dismembered, beheaded 11 victims. Sorry about that. Samsonova wrote down terrifying details, of the murders in her personal diary. Police now fear she is also a cannibal who ate the body parts of her victims. Now, this one story is on the Daily Mail. This story has popped up on other sources as well. So, yeah, and it's got pictures of the woman. But, yeah, she was doing this for, I think, I might have already read it, but I thought it said it was like over 10 years. She killed 11 different people, and then she ate them. The last victim, she was actually dismembering this woman that was the 11th victim by basically overdosing her on aspirin or something, and she was still alive as she was dismembering her victim. So, yeah, I mean, there is definitely hell on earth, and these people are just living proof of it. The story's kind of lengthy. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I'm still pissed off about what I heard tonight. Did not make me happy. But yeah, you can find this story about this woman who, again, her name is Tamara Samsonova. Yeah. It said, I'm just trying to kind of highlight stuff. She was arrested last week after being filmed by CCTV cameras near her home in St. Petersburg, removing the body of her latest victim in a black plastic bag. But it does say somewhere, and one of the two sources I read, that the woman was still like alive that was being dismembered. In particular, Samsonova had a penchant for gouging out and eating lungs. It is claimed. Asked if she was a cannibal, the police source said it is not excluded. Well, if she's eating people's body parts, yeah, I think she kind of is. Yeah, sources in the Russia's powerful investigative committee, equivalent to the FBI, indicated that internal organs, and particularly lungs, were removed from the bodies of victims. Yeah, I don't know. I can't read any more of that. I'm sorry. So you guys, whoever is listening to me, you can check that up. If you have any questions and it's somebody from work, they know where to get me, and I can tune them in or just look it out on my Facebook page because it's there. So, just when you thought, like, it can't get any worse, there's always some type of nasty person out there who just obviously proves you completely wrong. I'm saving this one article for later. Sorry about the pause. I was just trying to book link something. My fascination with Amy Schumer, something different, was on. Also in Daily Mail, fired up for Switzerland. Amy Schumer shows off her curves in one-piece bathing suit while dancing to Backstreet Boys' classic Aboard Luxury Boat. It's just pictures and a little bit of an article, mostly pictures of her. I know she's not the most heavily attractive person, and when they put her in, I think, what was it, like GQ or something with the Star Wars theme thing, they really definitely airbrushed her picture. She actually is not that heavy. She really is kind of a little bit big boned, though. One thing that caught my attention, this was on the Daily Mail, but I actually saw it elsewhere too, because they're really hyping it out. I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. This is on a Daily Mail, if I haven't mentioned it. Revealed Lady Gaga to bring terror to American Horror Story's next season as a wicked hotel owner. And this is supposed to be based upon factual stuff this time, which I found out in a different article, which I don't know if I posted. I think I did. On my be able to pull that up too then, where it came from, the source for the next season of American Horror Story. Lady Gaga is going from pop star to hospitality industry. She'll be playing a hotel owner in American Horror Story Hotel. So the next one's called Hotel for American Horror Story, I mean. The show's co-creator, showrunner, and director told journalists Friday that the character's name is Elizabeth, and then she owns the hotel, and she is sort of a very wealthy social Danoin who is consumed with art and fashion and people. So obviously why they picked Lady Gaga. Now, I would almost hope she would show up at one of these comic conventions and not charge like $1,500 just for a meet and greet. I hope she would be that kind of cool about doing that. I'd love to see her at one of these Comic Cons. She has a Nephrorus. I've never heard of this word, so I really can't pronounce it. Nephrorus plan that is revealed in the first episode that plays out of the course of the season. He said Gaga's start shooting Monday, so they start filming this in the next 2 days. On Monday, they're going to start filming. So I guess I got to see her with Tony Bennett right before she started. She's going to be like a regular character on the show, obviously. So I'm having a little problems. Not only I know with my reading, but it's kind of running choppy, my computer. So if you want to read that was on the Daily Mail. And I'll read off the title again. It's revealed Lady Gaga to bring terror to American Horror Story next season as Wicked Hotel owner. And it is called Hotel. So, so obviously she's going to be spending most of her time for the next couple weeks shooting the next season of American Horror Story. So that sounds really cool. And that's Lady Gaga, by the way. The other source that I just pulled tonight was from BloodyDisgusting.com. And that one was titled American Horror Story Hotel, based on Elsa Lamb's bizarre true story. It says it's an American Horror Story day. Apparently, we shared fresh casting and news of American Horror Story Hotel's October 7th premiere date. So they don't got much time if they're just going to start shooting on Monday. Maybe they're shooting the parts that pertain to Lady Gaga. Maybe they shot some other stuff. I don't know. We have previously guessed 3 theories about the plot of American Horror Story Hotel, which include H.H. Holmes' theory, The Garden of Allah, and the more recent Cecil Hotel theory. It looks as if we nailed one right on the nose. Co-creators Ryan Murphy and Brad Falchuk, along with the cast, offered up details Friday at FX Television's Critics Assigned Press Tour, and Variety shares the scoop. Variety, the magazine, basically, because I am a horrible reader. I realize that. Murphy said that the hotel ideal was inspired by a surveillance video from a Los Angeles-based hotel that surfaced 2 years ago. The footage showed a girl, Elsa Lamb, in an elevator who ended up dead. I'm trying to pick up where I left off now, so that is not too good. Okay. Quote unquote, it is called Hotel, and it is set in a hotel. Murphy said, disclosing that the hotel will be set in the downtown LA. And quote again, we deal with a lot of American horrors, including addiction. That was end of quote. Lady Gaga will play the owner of the haunted hotel, which means she will be a regular. AHS vet Sarah Paulson will play an addict who she describes as a quite dark, vile, and nasty. Another quote, I think she's sexy. She's a drug addict. Not that drug addicts are sexy, but this girl happens to be quite sexy. Paulson added, she's unlike any I've ever done on the show. Really unlike anything I've done anywhere. The last thing on that story was the full cast includes Lady Gaga, Matt Bomer, Sarah Paulson, Kathy Bates, once again, Angela Bassett, which I think she was on before, Evan Peters, which has been on almost every season, Finn Wittrock, Chloe Savini or something. I can't really make out that name. Wes Bentley, and oh God, I'm so bad with names, but last name is Jackson. So I'm not going to even try to sabotage that name because I don't do it intentionally. But I'm actually looking really forward to it. I was ready to give up on American Horror Story, but since I'm such a big Lady Gaga fan, I will be back again to pay for another season because I buy it on iTunes and I just watch it at my own convenience. And that way I'm supporting the show that way. You know, I don't buy the Blu-rays or DVDs on that stuff anymore. I don't see the purpose on doing it on certain things. I actually want to put this in the mix because I have a woman where I work with. She's a big Star Trek fan. There was something on MeTV, and it's MeTV Monitor for all the memorable entertainment news. And it basically says you can now get Star Trek credit cards from NASA Federal Credit Union. Star Trek-themed credit cards are arriving next month on Earth. The charge cards come courtesy of NASA Federal Credit Union. Wait, NASA has a bank? And it says, cool. You will be able to make highly logical purchasing decision in 4 designs. The Federal logo, an image of Starfleet Academy, a uniform insignia, or specs of the Enterprise set the warp. APR to 9.9, Mr. Sulu. Card holders will earn 3 times the points on purchases on StarTrek.com. So, yes, it's one of those things you get brownie points. I do that with Amazon. I get money back when I use it on Amazon's website to buy stuff, which I buy a lot. NASA's Federal Credit Union president and CEO Douglas Elliman announced, "We're excited to offer the new cards to Star Trek enthusiasts to express their support every time they use the card." They are actually pretty cool. If they did a Doctor Who one, though, I'd be really ecstatic. So, these are stories more pertaining to what I like, more so than normal. Even though I started the show off talking about myself. I'm always talking about myself, but this one's kind of neat. Bloody Disgusting. Story is James Wan pumping quarters into Mortal Kombat. So they want to do a reboot on filming. Track and Board is reporting that James Wan, Insidious, The Conjuring, is doing a bicycle kick to get his way into the producer's role of the new line's upcoming reboot of Mortal Kombat. The film is being written by Oren Uziel, 22 Jump Street, Mortal Kombat Rebirth, and Dave Callahan, The Expendables Doom. The site reports that Mortal Kombat Synapse, I can't even say that. The script centers around a seamlessly harmless guy who realizes his potentials when he finds himself caught in the middle of a cross-dimensional battle between warriors of Earth and monsters of the Outworld. Now, in order to stop the world from total destruction, he must win the martial arts tournament known as Mortal Kombat. Wan killed this year with Furious 7, so he was the one who made Furious 7, which ended up grossing $1.5 billion, making it the 5th highest grossing film of all times. He is currently working on The Conjuring 2, the Enfield Poltergeist, which is set to be released June 10th, 2016. So the last part says, "Look here, all right. I fucking love me, the first Mortal Kombat movie." It was not too bad, actually. In my opinion, it was fantastic. This was this person's writing about the original Mortal Kombat movie. The video game to movie adaptation because it realizes that it needed to be fun, a bit over the top, and it's just damn good, a good ride. I thought it was alright. I didn't really think it was that great. I actually like the TV series better. They kind of did. If Juan proved anything with Furious 7, it is that he is fully capable of helping a movie hit those exact notes. While I was already excited for this movie, this solidifies my interest. Let Mortal Kombat begin is the last sentence, because that's a thing from that one song I think it was even made years ago. So I started playing Mortal Kombat. I first was introduced for the Mortal Kombat when I was back in college, starting out my freshman year, and it was actually in our cafeteria, and I got very addicted to Mortal Kombat. It was actually Mortal Kombat 2. Then there was a friend who had actually the the one that you could put on, I think it was like Windows 95, maybe even less than that. Could have even been Windows 3.1. There was that Mortal Kombat you could get for those older computers, because that was new back then. But that's when I first even saw the original Mortal Kombat. And then I started playing the arcades, of course, too. And on the consoles. I can't leave that out. Friend sent me this one. It was on Bucks County Courier-Times. Ex-teacher from Buckingham gets jail sentence for sex with a student 14. Posted Friday, August 7th, which was yesterday. A former Norristown area middle school math teacher from Bucks County is going to jail after having sex with a 14-year-old male student in the spring of 2014. Jessica Streeper, 34, of the 4200 block of Middlest Lane, Buckingham, was sentenced Friday to 9 to 23 months in Montgomery County Prison. It's amazing how these women just get away with this stuff even more. So I know I'm going back on that kick again. And I know there's more men than women, but still this sentence should be just as stiff for women as with men when it comes to children. Streeper, the married mother, and here we go again. This is what really gets to me, folks. Streeper, the married mother of 2 children, dashed away several tears of learning her fate. However, her husband curled into a ball, quietly sobbing, with the family and church members patting him on the back and trying to console him after Judge Garrett D. Page handed down the sentence. The judge gave Streeper until August 14th to make the arrangements for the care of the couple's children ages 6 and 8 before beginning to serve her sentence. In addition to the jail time, the judge ordered Streeper to pay a $1,000 fine and perform 100 hours of community service. Streeper apologized to the victims of his family, and none of whom were in the courtroom, as well as her own family members, for the pain and suffering that that her behavior has caused. It goes on. There's a lot more, but the thing is, this is another case, a happily married woman apparently, but she's having sex with children. How can that be? All right, I just got to give up on that one. Anyway, a friend sent me this one to mandatory.com. A man thought it would be a good idea to put a fork inside his penis. That's the name of the title of the thing. That was also yesterday. While we wish this story wasn't true, unfortunately it is. The X-ray above shows, there's an X-ray picture of the fork in the guy's literally in his penis. The X-ray above shows a 10-centimeter fork inside a 70-year-old's urethra. The man from Canberra, Australia, showed up in Canberra Hospital Emergency Department with a very embarrassing but mostly super powerful problem. This probably wasn't very shocking for the doctors to see, as numerous accounts of from the doctors confirm that various objects have been pulled out of other patients' urethras and rectums before. Ready to know some of those objects: light bulbs, thumbtacks, telephone wires, animal bones, balloons, and, of course, chewing gum. I never tried to chew gum within my anus. I don't know why. I just doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't know. 3 Australian doctors from the hospital department of urology wrote about the man above and how detailed historic history taken revealed he had a self-inserted a 10-centimeter steel dining fork into his urethra 12 hours prior for autoerotic stimulation. According to the doctors, the fork was successfully removed without an incision needed, and the man was able to go home, perhaps try a spork before next time around. Try a spork. That is too good. A spork, a spoon, and a fork. Since we are all disgusting, curious human beings, you'll be you can see a very graphic and very NSFW photo of the fork removal right now. Go ahead. You're going to click. Of course, you have to look at it. So they actually have a link. Let me see, because I am one of these people. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, folks, yes. There is a picture of them. Like the picture you're going to see, if you go to mandatory.com, by the way, is actually of the x-ray of the fork being the guy's penis. If you hit the link on this article, they show the real man, not an x-ray, the guy's penis, and them pulling out the fork out of his urethra. So, thank you. Thank you, Todd, for sending me that one. I forget, I think Todd, my one friend Todd, sent me this one too. It's a video goes with it. This was on WNEP.com. Now, this was a hit on me because I have this big, overzealous fascination for the Waffle Houses because they're a southern thing. So anything that comes up with the Waffle House, he will pull and throw on my page, my blog page, my friend Todd. This one, there are never good stories when they end up putting Waffle House on the news now. 10-month-old baby dies after being left in a hot car outside the Waffle House. This was yesterday as well. Austin, Texas, a 10-month-old baby boy is dead after being left alone in a hot car outside the restaurant in Texas. Authorities say the baby was found unconscious and not breathing inside an unlocked car that was parked outside the Waffle House in Austin. Police told KXAN employees spotted the child and were able to get him out before they arrived. The car was not on. They didn't have to break the window or anything like that. CPL Chad Marquita with the Austin Police Department told KVUE, yes, I had it right. They were able to unlock the door and get the child out. Investigators say the car was not running, the windows were rolled up, and the boy was in the back seat, according to the Statesman. An employee called 911 and brought the child inside where he or she tried to perform CPR. When medics arrived, they were also performed CPR, but they were unable to resuscitate the child. With the heat like it is going through the heat wave, it only takes the temperature in a car 10 minutes to rise 20 to 30 degrees, said CPL Marquita. Officers are still working to establish the relationship between the driver and the child as of Friday, no arrests have been made. Alrighty, I think that's actually like the last of my stories that I had. So, yes, nothing really else, and I just had to say that. Oh, there's actually some. I got to see what somebody sent me, by the way. Oh, okay, never mind. But no, I did have actually some stuff I kind of looked at. I was like, okay, how do they miss this? Oh, actually, here's another one. These aren't the stories I actually pulled up. Friend sent me Channel 16 WNEP, the news station. Verizon ditches annual cell phone contracts. Yes, but you know what? My phone I have now, I'm on a contract no matter what, because guess why? I got an iPhone 6 Plus. It now is completely dead, for one thing, and I got an extended warranty, thank God. But, yeah, I have to pay off the phone. And it's $1,000 phone, so it's going to be like they make the payments over the 2 years you have the contract. So, anyway, if I didn't have that, San Francisco, Verizon is ditching annual contracts. The number 3 mobile carrier is switching to month-to-month plans starting Thursday. Current Verizon customers with annual contracts can keep their plans or switch over to one of 4 options, which are actually really nice. Verizon's new monthly options are $30 a month for 1 gig data, $45 for 3 gigs of data, $60 for 6 gigs of data, or $80 for 12 gigs of data. That's actually really good. The data can be shared between as many as 10 devices, but customers must pay a flat monthly fee for each of the mobile devices connected to the plan. A smartphone is $20 a month. Tablets and Jetpack mobiles hotspots are $10 a month, and connected devices like smartwatches are $5 a month. One allure of the annual contracts was the customers could buy subsidized phones, paying $200 for a new iPhone instead of the full cost. Now, if you can't afford to pay for a new phone, customers can use the carrier's payment plan to pay off the new devices in monthly installments over the 2 years. U.S. carriers have been slowly moving away from the annual contract model. T-Mobile was the first major carrier to jettison the annual contract back in 2013. AT&T announced it was phasing out the 2-year contract in June. At the investor conference earlier this year, Verizon's John Stratton hinted at the move, saying contract-less phones were increasingly popular with customers. Yeah, of course. What do you think? Yeah, my thing's kind of acting buggy. I think when it gets hot, it just acts more funky. Oh, you know what? This was another one too. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, so hey, I'm right there. Kevin Smith, I might have mentioned this yesterday. He has these T-shirts that he is selling, and it's basically Kevin Smith. Wish it was a hockey jersey. It's a hockey jersey logo, though. Worn by Kevin Smith in Season 5 of Comic Book Men, and it's basically... I think I read this yesterday, though, but it's him as... is it the Red Chiefs or something like that? It's like one of these hockey teams. It's the one with... it's like the Indian logo on the hockey team's jersey with the feathers out the back, because it's, American Indian, I meant. But he did it with Silent Bob instead, and apparently that was one he did release. So, yeah. Other than that, though, I did have a couple small things. You got to watch this video, by the way. I took it off a friend's page. It is, like, amazing. This guy is, like, a true type of kind of magician, I guess you would call it. Young guy, too. Really young. But he really is. It's incredible. It's on my Facebook page, and it's JSON uploaded a new video. Wow, this is dope. How is he doing it? What you all think? It really says that. But it is really cool. Yeah, you got to look at this video, though. This guy does some really weird stuff that just looks unreal. It is really unreal. It's like I'm looking at it again. And it's like, how did he do this? So I took it off a friend's page, Carol, one of my friends on Facebook, and I know her in real life. This was kind of funny. You can buy this. Actually, I thought this was a joke, but it was masturbation. The masturbation, stop masturbation web link on Facebook. They put up a lot of joke things. This one's for real, though. This is a real book. It's called Disease. You can buy it on Amazon Prime because I have it bookmarked now. Diseases Caused by Masturbation. It's an actual book, and it says on diseases caused by masturbation or on whatever, which Samuel August originally published in 1760 under the French title, whatever, because I am not going to pronounce these names. But no, the bottom line is there's literally a book out there called Diseases Caused by Masturbation. Well, guess what? That's one book I'm not going to read because I'm not going to stop. This was an interesting story I think a friend had sent to me. I can't believe what I read. It was New York Post. That was also yesterday. Very short story, too. Woman pays attacker $20 to not rape her. A 24-year-old woman stopped a rape near trendy McCarran Park in Greenpoint by giving her attacker a $20, cops said. The woman was walking near Leonard Street and Bernard Street around 11:20 p.m. Saturday when the creep grabbed her by the neck and fondled her genitals, according to police. The sicko told the terrified woman, "I'm going to have sex with you," as he assaulted her, cops said. The 20-year-old then offered the fiend money not to rape her, which he agreed to. The two walked to a nearby ATM, and the woman paid off her would-be rapist with a $20 bill, police said. The woman was not seriously injured in the attack and refused the woman was not seriously injured in the attack, and she had refused medical attention at the scene, according to cops. The suspect is a black male. He is still at large. Sorry for fucking that up, folks, but yeah, that was it. It's on the New York Post. It was on yesterday's news. Trying to see. Yes, it gets even better. Yeah, this was on the Dreamin' Demon. 3 teens accused of murdering an elderly man, then taking $3 from his wallet. The Dreamin' Demon. Greensboro, North Carolina, 3 teenagers have been arrested after police say the beat 74-year-old Larry Eugene Brown to death on the side of the road as the elderly man walked to the bus stop. On July 29th, Brown's body was found on the side of the road with significant... Oh, I hate having to open these stories, folks. Elderly man was on the bus stop. On July 29th, body was found on the side of the road with significant blunt force trauma to the head. Police would learn that Brown had been walking to the bus stop around 5:30 a.m. that morning when he was assaulted by one or more individuals. The Crime Stoppers tip would lead to police to a 17-year-old D'Angelo Matthew, a 14-year-old girl, and a 15-year-old boy. After interviewing the teens, police learned that the teens were driving down the road when they spotted that Brown decided to attack him. After assaulting Brown, the teens allegedly took $3 in cash, a wallet, flashlight, cell phone, and a razor. All 3 teenagers were taken into custody and now are facing first-degree murder, robbery with and robbery with a dangerous weapon charges. Dangerous weapon charges. They do have pictures of the teens. I'm not going to say anything. I'm keeping my mouth shut. You can figure it out on your own. Wow. Story about a little girl, so it's got to be bad. Manson Middleton, 8 missing. Middleton, 8, missing after taking scooter outside to play. This was in Santa Cruz, California. A whole bunch of people are currently searching for an 8-year-old Madison Middleton, little girl. She's a really cute kid. After she went missing Sunday while visiting her mother near Teneri Arts Center. That always reminds me, it's so cliche almost. Not that it didn't happen, but the story kind of reminds me of, Little Red Riding Hood going to go see her grandmother. And she does have a red shirt on in the picture, the girl who's missing. I think that was just a picture like she probably got from those kids when you get those pictures taken that you hate from school. It's just kind of weird, though. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to bookmark this one. Madison was last seen I already read that, I think, but I'll read it again anyway. Why not? Madison was last seen riding her white Razor scooter around her mother's apartment complex. She was wearing a purple knee-high dress with black leggings, a black baseball-style helmet, and her hair pulled into to the side in a braid. Well, see, she shouldn't dress so slutty then. I'm being sarcastic. I'm sorry, that wasn't even funny. Police spokeswoman Joyce, I can't say that name, said the video surveillance and a complex showed Madison still there at 5:05 p.m. Community volunteers at Santa Cruz Police, the Santa Cruz County Sheriff's Office search and rescue team and specialized state canine rescue team are all participating in the search for Madison. There's a little bit more, but apparently, this girl is just for some reason just appeared missing. So obviously, probably some pedophiliac or child molester, unfortunately, which I hope I was wrong, but why would she just disappear from her home that easily? I had to lighten it up. This kind of gets me depressed on this next one because it says Fandom Fest Comic Expo. This is in Kentucky Convention Center, Louisville. I'm trying to read it because it's really kind of getting blurry. It's going to have another thing with Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes, and the comic book men at the Fandom Fest 2015. Watch Mallrats. Then join Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes as they perform a live version of the podcast Jay and Silent Bob Get Old. So that would be really cool, but these things are they're all over the place, which is nice for them, but not for me. I think some of these other stories I might have read. I just kind of threw a couple of extra ones in the last second because they just were there, and I had to read them. So, folks, it is the weekend. I'm very tired. I haven't slept well in days, so I need to kind of get back on a normal pace. I'm going to go see a movie, but now I have no phone, which I use my GPS on to use. So I'm not happy about that either. I might have mentioned this at the beginning of the show. I'm going to mention it again. For some reason, this is the second iPhone 6 Plus I've had, and it just, for no reason at all, stopped working. That's $1,000 fucking phone, and the thing doesn't even work anymore. So everyone, have a good Saturday morning. Enjoy your weekend. I'll try to be back on at least Saturday night, probably more likely on Sunday at some point. And then Monday, I will be having an appointment over the Apple Store in King of Prussia to see if they will replace another phone that is truly defective. This is the second one I've gotten that was a 6 Plus that had problems. I am signing off. Have a good weekend.